Hello, everyone. My name is Uloma. It is so good to see you guys here. Thank you for tuning in for our first ever virtual art showcase of the Feels 5. I will be your host for this evening, and tonight we're going to take a look back at the last 4 years, including previous showcases, previous artists, as well as provide you guys a whole lineup of new and upcoming artists here in Seattle. We're also going to have a special music performance at the end of the show with none other than akaMatisse. He is the lead keyboardist in Keys and Craze, so it's about to be lit. Also, this is a fundraising event, so you can see at the bottom of the screen ways to donate all throughout the night. You can either donate via GiveButter at givebutter.com/thefeels5, or you can text TF5 to 202-858-1233. Thank you so much for those who have donated so far. We can see the comments coming in. Make sure to let your friends know that we have started live streaming via your social media platforms, and let's get this show on the road. All right, without further ado, let's kick this off. So first things first is a little bit of history. Let's take a look at the story behind the Feels.
My name is Tori Kirihara. I am 28 years old and I am Chinese and Japanese.
My name is Zach Self, born in Seattle, Washington, and I'm mixed.
I am an artist in the Seattle area, born and raised. I am a painter and a graphics artist, and I would just like to say all around, I love to work with different mediums.
Yeah, I've been a creative pretty much my whole life. I started in a little rap group, and that kind of propelled me into the studio production life, and then transitioned through graphic design and web development.
The Feels started in 2017. I asked 4 other artists to showcase, and I had Karma DJ it. I was plugged with Love City Love, so I thought it was the perfect mix for the theme of the show that I was producing because of the name itself, Love City Love. I knew I wanted to throw a show around Valentine's Day, and the theme of it and center of it was going to be based around everybody in their feelings because it's Valentine's Day, and I was in my feelings per usual.
I was interested in it just from the fact of being like a curatorial art event that's featuring like artists of color, that is accessible, and utilizing a space that like I felt was needed in the community. And then after experiencing it, and then later meeting Tori and understanding a little bit more about the background, the reason, the passion behind it, and kind of what the opportunity that was being presented like was. It was kind of, for me, it was an easy sale.
I wanted the Feels to be a place where Black and POCs felt like they had a place, and an important place to feel like they could showcase their work and it was appreciated on all levels and was interpreted in the way that they wanted their artwork to be. People who understood the culture and what's going on and these things that they want to paint or get out and express themselves with. I wanted them to be understood in a setting where there was a lot of people around who came there to specifically look at artwork that they knew resonated with them.
Art Together is a youth arts initiative that the Feels kicked off a couple years ago, where we focus on kids usually aged 5 to 13 and their parents, and bring in some of the teaching artists from previous Feels showcases. And the output is a self-portrait, or they make their own custom t-shirts. And we've received a lot of great feedback from the parents about how much they see the benefit of them being showcased and featured and supported and uplifted.
Year 5 is an exciting year for us because I feel like this year is giving us the opportunity to tell people who we are, why we do what we do, and what we want to do in the future, and what our plans are and what we're working on right now, all while getting to still showcase a pool of amazing new artists, new and old, that we've had a part of shows over the last 4 years.
The Feels is such an amazing organization, and I really hope that everyone that watches this showcase understands the purpose and our mission and wants to support. So I appreciate their support.
All right, all right, all right. Wasn't that video just so dope? That's a taste into what the Feels look like the last few years. And as you can see, it was popping. So let's go ahead and bring up the visionaries behind the Feels, Tori and Zach.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
All right, all right. We're good? Okay, cool. So we got Tori on, we got Zach on. How are you guys feeling this evening?
Good. I'm excited that this is happening finally. It's so different this year, but still equally as excited as every year.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, that was a dope video, really encompassing what has happened in the last 4 years. Can you guys elaborate more behind what the Feels means to you?
Well, the Feels is very near and dear to my heart. It is really the first big art venture I've gone on in my adult life, and probably just overall. It's been such a crazy experience. I've met so many people, not just artists, through doing this. And, it's been crazy in the best way in the last 5 years. And it's just really important to me because it gets to showcase so many artists at all levels. And we just want to support people is what we really want. So.
Yes, I love it. What about you, Zach?
The Feels has just been such this amazing release for me and community investment, meeting Tori some years ago and being able to work together and kind of build these bridges and create an environment where artists can thrive and feel appreciated and, celebrated, and really tapped into just the movement of supporting BIPOC and artists in general and providing resources via art gallery showings and helping people on the financial side and being able to sell their work and bring people together that are interested in purchasing artwork, maybe from artists that they might not know about. And it's been really awesome, been really amazing. And we're really excited about the future and just staying active,
I love that. And you guys just make a good partner in this together. I know Tori founded the Feels, but Zach, you came in a little bit after. So how did you two make that connection? And since then, how has the vision evolved over time?
So for the first show, when I was looking for a place to host my art show, I was connected through a friend to Zach, who was working at Love City Love at the time, and they offered to donate the space for the evening, which was awesome. And I think after the first show, I really started to talk to the team over at Love City Love, and I really just started talking to Zach a lot. And we just started working together a lot more. He was super on board with a lot of the projects and ideas that I had. So we just really connected because we both wanted to work and we both wanted to do stuff for the community.
I love that. I love that. And I know you guys are notorious for your art showcase, but I know you guys are working on continuing to build that community outside of that. So what are some ways that you've been doing that outside of the art showcase?
Well, we've been up to some little secret projects, we've been scrolling away in this interesting time of the, pandemic. We have some stuff that we're not going to put out there just yet, but it's something, it's something for artists, kind of created by artists that's going to really, I think, propel access. So we're really excited about that. We have some really cool up and coming series that we're working on. We're going to get into later in the show, which is really cool. We're really pumped about. and we are almost solidified with our foundation and stuff like that. So that's going to be like that next big horizon for us. So yeah, I'm stoked.
I love it. Well, it was so good to talk to you guys, Tori and Zach. Thank you so much for sharing just all around how the fields came alive. I'm definitely looking forward. I'm super excited to see the future of the fields, especially the foundation portion of it. So we're now going to take a deeper look into art together.
Am I on my way to heaven?
I think experiences in programming like Art Together matter because it's a very intimate way for a community to connect and to create in a space that really is enjoyable. And it's like building the future, allowing and creating the time to set aside for our kids to be the focal point.
I enjoy creating art because my mom is an artist. I'm an artist, and because I like painting. Like, I get bored when mommy says no painting.
Well, I think art is very important for our children to be able to use art as a way of opening up and expressing their emotions. And sometimes words aren't always the easiest way for some kids. So I think teaching them to use art as a form of expression is really important in helping them grow.
I enjoy that I can draw things and make people feel emotions with art because I put my emotions into it, and the people I can give the art to can feel the emotions that come in it.
One of the things that really stood out to me about the program was the location. Like, it was kind of like Enchanted. There was chickens and plants, and had the art table set out, and so it was really a really dope location.
I will definitely be signing her up for more programs. I think any chance for her or any of my kids to learn something new is always a plus.
That was so cute. Oh my gosh. It's really important for us to start young and really show these kids how to express their art. So that's a really dope foundation that they're starting here. And we actually have an opportunity to talk to mother and daughter, Kiana and Chloe. So let's get them on. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
How old are you?
7.
Oh my gosh, you look so grown. How did it feel seeing you guys on the video?
Great and embarrassing.
Oh, well, hey, that's a manifestation right there for you, huh? So, how about you two kind of talk about your experience that you felt participating in Art Together?
How did you like it?
It was good and fun and awesome.
Yes. What was your favorite thing to paint, or what was your favorite thing to make while you were there?
Spray paint on the shirts.
Yes,
She was
I
rocking
love
that
it.
shirt too for a while after. She was like proud of her shirt and like wearing it places and stuff and telling people all about, where she made it at and stuff.
I love that. So, Kiana, understand that you're an artist as well. What was that like? Especially, it seems like you're continuing that generation of creatives. What has it been in your art lifestyle, your home life? What's that experience about raising a daughter also interested in the arts?
It's rewarding. It's like having a child is like a reward, but when they're interested in the things that you are passionate about yourself,
Yeah.
that like doubles the reward because then you're not having to battle with, opposite personalities. Like she's
Yeah.
her, and when she does art, it's very different than when I do art, but we
Yeah.
can get in the flow and you know, just she's always creating stuff. Like I tell her she's a scientist because her art is a lot of like experimenting with things and just like really feeling textures and like smells. And so she's like, the next generation is going to be even more talented than, you know, us late 80s, 90s artists and stuff. So
Can I go look
Yeah.
at my picture that I made out of my room?
So Chloe, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh. These are the same questions.
yeah, could you practice?
Well,
You can be more than one thing.
a scientist and an artist and a librarian.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, I know you can be all three of those things, right? And so what has it been like for you, Chloe, to have a mom who's also an artist?
Awesome.
You gonna say why?
Because I'm like an artist, kind of.
And there's a plethora of supplies, always using
Yes.
whatever we have, and there's always some new art supplies and like just a whole bunch that she gets to go through and just really explore. Don't you think so?
I love it. So what are some of the mediums that you've gone to work with? Either of you can answer this question.
Acrylic paint, watercolors,
Nice, nice.
glue,
Hey.
glitter.
Mommy.
Go ahead, say some stuff.
Like heart stars that are sparkly and
Yes.
and I put like liquid in bags that is edible, and I bite through the bag and see if it will come in my mouth.
I love that. Do you have friends in your circle, Chloe, that are also wanting to be an artist?
Yeah, only 2.
Sorry, that's loud.
Only 2.
Only 2 of them. Well, you guys are such an inspiration to look at because we understand the importance of expression through art. And it's amazing to see that between you guys. Do you have any advice for the viewers, for people who want to get into art?
Do you have some advice?
Wait, what is advice again?
Like, so some advice would be like for me, a lot of times I'm really focused on what I'm doing. So being more patient and just like trusting the kids to explore and like setting aside time too. Not trying to do it all together, but setting aside time for them to get to do their thing and show. And yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, I love that. Chloe, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah, probably next question.
Okay, how about this one? What does family night look like for you, Chloe?
This one might be a crazy one. I know this is impossible, but 40 bags of Sour Patch Kids and acrylic nails.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's also her medium, nails. She does nail design.
No way. Can you see my nails? Can you see them? Oh man, I have a really cool nail design on there. So next time, let me know when you get your certification, and I'll be coming to you. All right?
Okay.
Awesome. Well, it was so good to see you guys, Kiana and Chloe.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, we'll continue to watch the show.
Bye. That is really cool. So that's it for you guys. That is Art Together. It's a really cool foundation that the Fields is behind on. So that's why this is a fundraising event to raise funds for that. large portion of it is going into the Art Together Foundation to continue to provide resources for the youths, because that is what this is. Art Together is a youth arts initiative, really just raising awareness in the community. And it's such an amazing initiative for sure. So that's it when it comes to Art Together. Another thing that they've been working on that's been really cool is called Layers. So a little bit about Layers. Given the world that we are in, we are very deep, complex human beings. And especially what had happened in 2020, we had realized that now is more than ever time to really look into the lives of Black and Brown people. And so what Layers is just a chance to highlight Black, Indigenous, people of color artists, especially here in the Seattle area, and get to learn from their experience and their perspectives when it comes to their art. And so they've already had 4 episodes, really just ranging from painters to, chefs even too, because we're covering all mediums of art. And so if you haven't looked at them, make sure you take a look at them. Just go to their Instagram at the Field C, SEA for Seattle, and you'll see all the stories there. It's really dope just to connect with people and really just resonate and really understand their story behind their art, my bad. So that's it when it comes to Layers. All right. So we have the pleasure of having 2 featured artists for our show, and they were actually featured on Layers as well. And one of them that we're going to have up first is Simon Legaspi. I first met Simon at the Fields 3, I believe, and I was just drawn in by his love of graffiti, as well as animated art. He had this dope painting of Buzz Lightyear, and I was like, wow, that looks really dope. And ranging from that to Pharrell, I was like, this is the stuff. So I was like, I got to have this commissioned. In fact, I did. And I was like, can you paint me something? I don't know who I want it to be. I picked Georgia Smith, and this is how it came out. Isn't that amazing? So that is Simon Legaspi. Let's bring him up. Let's see his story.
My name is Simon Legaspi. I'm 27 years old and I'm Filipino. I was born in the Philippines in 1993. 2001, I immigrated from the Philippines to New York City. And in 2005, 2006, I moved here to Linwood, Washington, and currently living in Seattle, Washington. Art's just always been a part of my life. I've been drawing since I can remember. Every day I was inspired when watching cartoons as a kid, watching anime. My mom has taught me how to draw. She used to be in art and would draw and paint when she was younger, so she kind of put that on me, and I was so interested in it, and I think my parents saw something in that. Growing up in New York, art was everywhere, and it was only right that I kind of gravitated to that direction. When the time came to choose a career path, I decided to go to art school, and I didn't go to art school for anything drawing or anything like that. I went to art school for graphic design. But in that world of graphic design, I slowly finding myself feeling unmotivated, uninspired. Things became very repetitive for me. I remember one day going to a homie's house and seeing that she had graffiti all over her walls, and it was like, wow, like I missed that. I missed touching a can of spray paint or just creating art, and Tina actually one day came to my apartment at the time and brought a canvas and a can of spray paint. It was like, here, go paint. Just try to express yourself and get this frustration out. And when I did that, it was just so freeing, and I kind of just flashed back to that moment where as a kid, like, this was the freedom I wanted. This was me just purely just creating for myself, and it felt good. And I posted it. I remember posting it on Instagram, and then it had such a great response, and like people were like, whoa, like, can you paint me this, paint me that? And it just kind of clicked to me, like maybe this could be a thing for me. As far as the Fields goes, I've been a part of it 3 out of 4 of the shows. And for each show, it was different stages of my art. The first one, it was just pure excitement, just me just kind of spilling it on the canvas. By the time of the second show, and I decided to go really big on those pieces and trying to really explore what I can do for myself. And, I chose subjects that were beautiful to me and meaningful to me. And But the third one, it was like, learning from the first two, I really wanted to create this wall and have this space and really view it and how I can really position my art in a certain way where the right emotions come out. And it was just a very surreal moment for all those three experiences. The community is pretty much just meeting talented artists, It makes you feel part of an actual art community, and that was always something new for me. I think the people that go to the fields also are there specifically because they love art, and my artwork is shown to that community, to people who are very interested and are curious on what artists within the city are doing. And yeah, I guess just interacting with people who are very interested in art, I think is that helps me a lot. As a Filipino artist immigrating from the Philippines, I just want to be able to inspire. Not a lot of Filipinos kind of get the opportunity, where they all fall into a stereotype of being a nurse or being a doctor, and art was never a possible career path. And I'm sitting here as an artist who's Filipino, doing this, and I just want to be an inspiration to others. And I think the fields really gave me that push start, the opportunity to be able to show my work and put it in front of people. And maybe being a part of the fields, someone who dreams of becoming an artist can get inspired by the work that I put out, and that just would feel amazing.
All right. So we actually have a surprise guest right here. We actually have Simon live with us. So how are you doing, Simon?
Hey everybody, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on here.
Welcome. Yo, you're a featured artist. How does it feel to see your video like that?
I've been a part of the field since the beginning, and all the featured artists were people that I looked up to, artists like Christina. She's been killing it with all her work and all the emotion she puts in her artwork, and just to be the featured artist it's so surreal, and I feel very honored to be part of that.
I love it. Well, it's been really amazing to see your art, especially evolve over time, because I believe you started off as a graphic designer. How did you pivot into being a painter?
It was never really planned. I was in graphic design industry for a while, and working the 9 to 5, and I just wanted something more for myself. I wanted creative freedom, and at the time it was very frustrating for me creatively. And when I first touched that canvas and kind of spilled it on with paint, it was like, wow, this is where I need to be, and this is like my happy place. So let's try and roll this out. And I kind of just followed my heart, where my creativity was leading me, and it was now or never. This was my happy place, and let's try to make this work and try to do this every day.
I love that. And I was actually looking at your layers video, and when Tori was asking those questions about your favorite food spot, and you said Panda Express, I was dying. What is your favorite meal you'll get at Panda Express?
I mean, I'm just really basic. It was funny because rapid questions, I'm not good at rapid questions. I'm just not, it was never popped first in my head, and I love Panda Express, so can't really hate on that. But
clearly it's your inspiration. So that's a plug. Go eat Panda Express, and then you'll paint like Simon, right? Another question I have for you is what would you say is your most favorite or most memorable painting that you've made?
That's a really hard question for me because I don't really have like a favorite painting. Each painting that I make and personal pieces that I do is how I'm feeling at the time or things that I'm going through. So I just love all of them. Like all my pieces are like my babies. It's a part of me. So I can't really choose just one piece. It's just all meaningful to me. And it's like a timeline for me when I look at those pieces, like, this is how I was feeling, and it's just like more of like a memory lane. So I can't choose.
I love that. And I know your love for graffiti as well. You've had the opportunity to do a mural. You've also have apparel going on. How did that work for you? Like, I'm sure you're super pumped. I'm really pumped. Can you talk more about it?
Yeah. Again, I just really try to follow where my heart is taking me as far as like my creativity, and I started doing clothes like years ago, and I've kind of always had a passion to make, put things on t-shirts, just because what I wear is just how I feel. So when I put my own art into it, it's just like, it's me, you know what I mean? So this is kind of coming back full circle, and me putting my art on different things like clothes and even painting on shoes. I'm just kind of following it, and it's been getting great responses and connecting with a lot of people, and it's been amazing. Yeah, it feels really good.
I love that. What would be an advice you will give to someone who is starting out painting?
Just really focus on yourself and finding who you are through what you're creating.
Yeah.
I know you can get lost in, looking at a lot of artists but I think it's important to really just find yourself in your art, and put in the time and kind of work on your craft every single day. And if you believe in yourself, like, you'll get to your goals and where the art will take you. So that's just kind of my advice.
Awesome. Well, we're so grateful to have you plug in really quickly. That was a huge surprise. I know you're very busy because now you're just up and coming. I'm waiting for your commissions to open back up. But it's so awesome to see all of the work that you've done over the time. And so wishing you the best for the rest of your evening. And I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. That is so amazing. Just talking about growth, because Simon, like I said before, I've been able to watch his journey for the last couple years. And speaking of growth, we have another phenomenal artist that's been making waves, and she just does not stop doing so. Up next, we have Christina Martinez. She is AKA So Trill. I had just graduated college, and I was trying to figure out who I was as a person, especially a woman of color. And she was one of the people that came across my social media, and she was just leaving the fashion industry, going full time into painting. And I was like, wow, she's amazing. So it's been an honor to see her grow as well. So let's take a look into Christina's story.
My name is Christina Martinez. I'm 34 years old, and I'm Mexican and Black. I was born in Tacoma, Washington, and moved away at the age of 18 for 10 years, and I'm now based out of Seattle, Washington. I remember feeling like I was supposed to create my entire life. My mom had me at 15. We didn't have a lot of extra things. And so I would literally create on whatever was around, whether it was like napkins or paintings with nail polish on lasagna noodles, or scrap paper that I could find. And I remember in 3rd grade, I got my first art set, and it was one of those kits that had like pastels and markers and watercolors in it. And that was the first time I ever used a real canvas. And I remember feeling like I could create anything, and that stuck with me my whole life. My favorite thing about my art, I would say, is when two things. If my kids recognize parts of them or pieces or things or experiences that we've had in my work and they call it out, I always know that I've told the story in a way that speaks to a large group of people if they can see it. And then also when they ask me what my paintings mean, every painting that has sparked the interest of my kids is important to me. It's like, oh, everything's about my kids, my kids, my kids. But I mean, that's the reality of it. Is like World Trade Center, painting a mural at the World Trade Center was so special to me. But like the best part of it was that my daughter recognized that I created a figure that looked like her, and it was in there. And those kind of things like that just means so much to me. You know, any time that I get the opportunity to speak to the youth and to highlight Black and brown stories, like that's just what it's all about for me. I was introduced to the feels through Tori, And me and Tori both had a love for art, and we connected, and it was kind of effortless after that. It was kind of funny, we always laugh because the first show, Tori knew I was painting in my own time because she was my friend, but I was more known at the time for my designs and things that I created to wear. And so the whole idea was for me to come to the Fields with a rack of clothes that I had made. And I remember Tori saying, like, you should share some of your art, like you can put a painting up, and I was like, no, I'm not even there yet, like I'm not painting like that yet. So for us to be here now, you know, just a few years later and be a full-time artist is kind of crazy, because I will say that that was one of those moments where I like started to share my art just a little bit after that on the internet, and I think the Fields was a big part of that. I think that the Fields helps new artists because their application process, they really like choose artists based off the artwork, and they're just like, you know, they pick the things that they connect to, that they think other people will connect to, and I think it just gives new artists an opportunity to show art with artists that have more experience, with artists that have less experience. It's like really a true group of people that are like genuinely just passionate about what they do, and I think that you know, it's a good amount of exposure, and it's always a really, really special environment.
That is so amazing getting to hear from Christina Martinez. She is truly an inspiration, the visionary behind Bloom. Again, I've bought way too many things from her. She even had some recent collaborations with Vaseline and even with Faye Noel. So, you know, I had to cop that real quick. So that was amazing getting to see the featured artist for this year's show. So next thing up here is that do want to remind you this is a fundraising event. Show love to the artist. You can see at the bottom of the screen ways to donate. You can either donate via GiveButter at givebutter.com/thefields5, or you can text TF5 to 202-858-1233. I was actually looking at the comments and I'm seeing them coming in. Thank you so much to those who have already donated. The night is still young. Make sure you let people know that you're live streaming the Fields 5. And yeah, let them know. So now we're going to transition into a whole lineup of new artists here in Seattle area. The first 3 years of the Fields, Tori and Zach had chosen the artists to do their showcase. Now, because they wanted to have more inclusion, they decided last year to do an open roll call and look out for new artists. And so we have a whole lineup of 10 artists that are going to be here with us to share their art that they've been doing. And so let's get into that. First up, we have Alexa Villanueva.
Hi, Eli.
All right. Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the Fields team for coordinating this. And also, yeah, I'm just very happy to be here.
Doesn't it feel weird? We're live. So it's like, I can't even, there's no edits. I can't fix lipstick. Like, we're on. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. So we're going to take a look at your art. And while that's rolling up, tell us a little bit about you. What is your background? And also, what is the story behind your art?
So I'm Alexa. I'm a Filipino-American artist born and raised in Washington. I feel like I've always been an artist, but I didn't truly commit to it until a few years ago. After spending a while in the design world, I decided to really just venture out and start my own business. And my mission as an artist has always been to just express and share warmth and empowerment and gratitude. So my latest work that I've been working on was this tarot deck that came out last fall, and it's called the Future Ancestor Tarot. And so it's a set of 78 cards that I created with collage. And just this weekend, I decided to kind of update my shop and share these 5 5x7 prints of them, and they're all like made in Capitol Hill and by this local women-owned company. And yeah, it's really important to me as an artist to be working with others that inspire me. So I'm really excited to be back with the Feels. I was able to join as a vendor last year, but mainly with ceramics. So it's really nice to be able to share a different medium I've been working with.
I love that. And you were into clay as well, right? Tell us a little bit about that and what's been your favorite thing to make with that.
I would say my favorite thing to make, it's so hard because I love to make so many objects, especially functional objects that people could use. But my favorite, I'd have to say, are mugs, because I love being part of people's daily rituals and seeing them in their homes.
I love that. I love that so much. So what's going to be next for you?
Coming up, okay, this is kind of the first time I'm really sharing it, but I'm moving to, I wasn't expecting that question.
Surprise, we're live.
Coming up, in a few months, I'll be moving to South America. So I'm going to start a different studio space and hopefully be working on the guidebook for the tarot deck there. So I'll be with my husband's family, and it'll be a really nice kind of refresh and a time to just kind of, I don't know, be open to new inspirations.
I love that. Well, it was so good to talk to you this evening. I'm definitely going to follow you on Instagram because I want to follow your journey to South America. Like, what? Thank you so much for sparing your time this evening so we can learn more about your art. And I hope you have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, that is so dope. Oh my word. Again, this is a fundraising event. Show some love to these artists by donating at givebetter.com/thefeels5, or you can also text TF5 to 202-858-1233. All right, next up, we have Claudia Villalobos. Hey girl. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing? You're doing so good. This is so
I know, we're live. It's crazy. It's like I can't go this way, right? Or else I'll screw everything up. But how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really well. Really, really well. I'm excited for this. Like, I've been looking forward to it, prepping for it, just making sure everything is in a row.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at your art really quickly. And while that's being pulled up, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and the story behind your art.
So I'm from Seattle. I've lived here my whole life. So I've watched Seattle kind of, more metamorph into this corporate-y type of environment. But I'm very much grounded in my Seattle roots. I grew up going to the Kingdom, watching the Mariners. I grew up with the Sonics, and I'm such a sports girl that it's so rooted into me that it's inspiring. Like, I love painting about my childhood, and I grew up on Beacon Hill, which is obviously so different now, and a lot of that's just inspiring to me, and I like having artwork that kind of brings me back to where I came from.
Yes, and I know I was looking at your Instagram too. You've been painting denims, is that correct?
Yes. I love painting on jackets, clothes, jeans. To me, wearing art is super important. I love like the creativeness, the uniqueness, and I really, really enjoy showing the youth and the young teenagers or the youth of the community that they don't have to go out and wear this like designer expensive stuff, that they can create it right in their own home and have their own designs on apparel.
Yes. And how about how do you find your inspiration to continue doing your art?
It's crazy. Like, I feel like it comes every day. Every day you get like a little inspiration here, and it kind of moves you to try something new. And it's just, you get signs every day, whether it's like I don't know how to, whether it's like a sign in the store, you know, a super bright sign.
Yeah.
Huh. Like that's cute. Like I wonder how I can like translate that or get inspiration to put that into some sort of a painting. I believe in the signs.
I'm with you too. It's just like you see something and you're just like, let me write that down. I'm going to get
Yeah.
back to that and we're going to make this turn into something else. So it was really cool getting to hear about your story, Claudia. And, you know, this is amazing stuff. Definitely looking forward to like looking at your profile and joining one of those groups where I can make some denim. So watch out for my message. All right. All right. You have a wonderful night and take care.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Oh man, that is so amazing. Denim. I need to get into denim. That should be on my list for sure. So up next, we have Danny Harris. Hey girl.
Hey Loma.
How are you?
Good. You're doing an amazing job.
Oh my gosh, thanks, because I'm sweating.
Me too.
Maybe you're like, it's the glow, it's the sweat. So it's so good to see you. We met last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Volunteering.
Oh my gosh, time flies. We were just talking about, we're like, we had the Feels for before. Oh man,
Yeah.
that is wild how it happened before quarantine. But let's pull up your art. And while that's coming up, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and the story behind your art.
Myself, my name is Danny Harris. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. I have 2 kids, Dre and Dallas, and my wonderful husband, Smiley. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so sorry I'm saying so much, I'm so nervous. But I use art as a way to understand my mental health better. I've had problems with depression and anxiety, so working through that and just understanding how I feel better, understanding how I feel through my art is really helpful to me. And I just hope that it can reach other people so that they can understand themselves better through their mental health as well.
Yes. And what would you say has been what is your most favorite or most memorable painting that you have made?
Well, my favorite is this one here. It's called Rise. I made that in a really dark place in my life, and it just represents a lot for me, coming out of that darkness and kind of finding yourself again. My most memorable is my light and darkness painting. I did that one for Black Lives Matter, using that symbolism of the moon as like a way to reflect the light and the growth of the flowers, to represent like we're in a dark time right now, but you know, with the work that we're doing, more can grow from that. So
yes. I need to see your art. It looks really beautiful.
Thank you.
And you mentioned you're a mom. How has it been being a stay-at-home mom and a full-time artist, I'm assuming?
I don't sleep. I stay awake all night. I don't know if you can hear my son right now, but I just stay awake all night when I need to paint. Mom in the day, artist at night. So that's how I work that.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, it was so good to see you again. So good to see your art being up and showcasing. I definitely wish you a wonderful evening, and I'm sure we're going to catch up soon. So,
you too.
Bye. Yes. Aren't these artists so cool? Again, this is a fundraising event. There's ways to donate. I don't know why I want to say download. Donate at the bottom of the screen. You can donate via goodbutter.com/thefeels5, or you can text TF5 to 202-858-1233. I see the donations coming in. We're super grateful for that. Keep them coming. Let your friends know that you're live streaming the Feels 5. And let's get into the next artist. So up next is Devin Barnes. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, is it over yet? But I'm so good to see you. So good to be here. It's so good to see you again. How is your evening?
Wow. It's going fantastic. Thank you.
Good.
Very excited
Well,
to be here.
pull up your art. And while that's being pulled up, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and the story behind your art.
Absolutely. Okay, about myself. So I'm born and raised in Seattle. I currently live in Oakland, California right now. But a little bit about myself. I think my journey with art, I started drawing when I was younger, as a kind of a hobby, a pastime. But as I've gotten older, it's become really a way to explore myself and different parts of myself. So whether it's drawing bodies and exploring my femininity or my queerness, or if it's drawing people of color and exploring my Blackness, it's really become a way to get to know myself more and more. So I've been super grateful to have that as I've gotten older.
Yeah, and would you say your process behind painting, is it kind of triggered by something that you've experienced, or is it more so just free flowing it?
Great question. I think triggered a bit. I think for me, it's such a therapeutic practice. Like I love making art that people can connect to, but I connect to it so much, and they're so personal to me. So if there is a part of myself that I'm trying to get to know better, it really inspires the art that I create around that time. And then if someone else gets to, find a piece of themselves in that process, that's really awesome. And that's like such a cool way to connect with someone, and just honored if they were able to connect with my art in that way. But it's definitely inspired by exploration, by the world, what's happening around us. So I think even this past year, it's been so awesome exploring my identity as a Black woman, in exploring the multiplicity of a Black identity, and Black culture. So, and doing that through paint.
Cool, cool, cool. And now you're in Oakland, right? A new chapter for you. What has it been to express your artistic ways while being in Oakland?
I'm so grateful for Oakland. I'm so grateful for my journey in Oakland. So grateful to have spent 2020, especially in Oakland, a place with such beautiful, deep history in Black culture, civil rights, etc. To have experienced 2020 here, to have protested here, where Angela Davis is speaking from just a few feet away, and to experience the community here, which is so centered around Blackness, has been quite, so amazing. And so it's just furthered that inspiration. It's furthered that want to connect through art, and a sense of activism through art.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a trip to Oakland real quick.
Yes, please.
And find out how I can reach you. It's been such an honor getting to know you this evening and learn more about your art. And so I just wish you a wonderful evening, and I'm sure I will talk to you soon.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Bye. Woo. Guys, this is so good. I'm like tingling in my feet. Hopefully you're loving what you're hearing, because I'm ecstatic right now. Please show some love to these artists by ways of donating via givebutter.com/thefeels5. You can also text TF5 to 202-858-1233. We still got a lot of artists to get through, and I am so pumped. So up next, we have Carrie Sutton.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. What is good? How are you feeling this evening?
I'm feeling pretty good. Good to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Good to see you too. So let's pull up your art and let's get into it. So tell us a little bit about you, your background, and the story behind your art.
Yeah, so my name is Carrie Sutton. I'm a mixed media artist born and raised in Seattle, Washington. And a lot of my art is using kind of forgotten materials like shoeboxes or street signs, license plates, and kind of repurposing them to tell the story of life growing up in Seattle, being a former basketball player, although not a very good one, loving shoes, growing up in the 90s, things like that.
Awesome. So speaking of repurposing, what has been the most challenging material to use in your art?
Oh, it's definitely been the street signs. It's made of a very kind of thick metal, so it's been really hard to manipulate that and kind of form it into what this idea I get in my brain. So that's definitely been the most challenging, but also, the most rewarding to kind of see that end product as well.
Yeah, and how do you find inspiration?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, really trying to memorialize this ever-changing city that I'm from, that we're in, and thinking about life when Seattle was a little more gritty, a little more blue collar, and trying to, capture that and tell that story.
Awesome, awesome. And I guess my last question for you would be, I mean, where do you see your art going from here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have this kind of inner dialogue and this inner desire to create. So I'm just gonna keep pursuing that and keep putting my art out there. And there's been a lot of folks that have been interested in it and wanting personalized pieces. So just continuing to pursue that passion and pursue that kind of itch that I feel internally to express myself in that way.
Yeah, I know that you also repurposed a Nike shoebox.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, really it started, we were moving and my wife was getting on me for the amount of shoe boxes and shoes that I had. So uh yeah, I mean I personally love the colors and the design of a lot of them. So really as I was pursuing art, kind of just using that forgotten material, personally I think they're beautiful. So trying to, I guess in a way, savor them or hang on to them by repurposing them, using them as a form of expression.
Yeah. Have you ever hosted any workshops with how you deal with these all types of material? Because I'm sure that is something that we're not all used to using.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me on Instagram at Carrie D Sutton, and my hope is to kind of document that a little more. A lot of folks have asked some of that process,
Yeah.
so my hope is to kind of share that so other people can maybe be encouraged to do something similar.
That is super dope. So that means I have to take all my shoe boxes and send them to you, right?
Oh,
I
please
think it's
do.
so
I'll come pick them up.
shoe boxes piled up. Well, it was so good to talk to you this evening, and I wish you a wonderful evening as well. And
I
take
appreciate
care.
it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Bye. Wow, I need to figure out. Now I gotta be creative with my Nike shoe boxes for real too. Especially the materials that he's been using. He'd be a really cool person to look at. So that was really dope getting to hear from him. Again, fundraising event, show some love to these artists. There's ways to donate found here at the bottom. I'm seeing the comments still coming in. Thank you so much to those who have donated. And now we're gonna talk to Rachel Orozco.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Oh my gosh. When did we meet? The Feels 3.
Yes, 2019. I can't.
Time
Yeah.
alive.
I know. I cannot believe it.
And now it's full circle. Now you're here with us this evening, sharing with us your art. So let's pull that up.
Yes.
And as that's coming up, just tell a little bit about yourself, your background, and the story behind your art.
Yeah, so my name is Rachel. I'm originally from a really small town in Oregon, and I moved to Seattle in 2018. So ever since I can remember, I've always been drawing, but it wasn't until 2018 when I moved to the city when I started to feel a lot of inspiration to paint. And then I went to the Fields, which is when I met you. And I felt so inspired. I loved the atmosphere. I loved all the different creatives. And, back where I'm from, we don't really have that. So I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, I could actually do this, And so the Fields really motivated me to find my niche in art because at the time I didn't really know. And so I started to just, paint whatever just came out of me, and I started to make these cities. And after that I went through like a bad season in my life, but that's when I really allowed myself to create more and paint and just allow whatever came to the canvas, and it just kept being cities. And so it just became my niche, and I think I just find a lot of inspiration and with all the different architecture and just being in the city with like endless possibilities. And yeah.
I love all of that. What has been the most favorite painting for you?
Yeah, I love all of them, but I really like the black and gold one. Yeah, the black and gold one, the Golden NYC, because I created it after I went through that that long year that a lot of things were going on, and it's just like a reminder to me that, like, you know, this too shall pass. Like, we have seasons, and, you know, like, we have to get through them, and, you know, we will get through them. And so it's just a good reminder of like where I've been with my art, and now to see me creating in this new mindset and this new environment. And it's just, yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a trick question for you. Let's say you get moved to the city.
Yeah.
How would you find inspiration?
Girl, I don't think I would. No,
I thought so. That's why I want to ask.
I know. I honestly, I mean, I really feel like everything happens for a reason. And I really don't think I would be creating cities if I never moved to Seattle, because when I was there, that's just like, I don't know, I just had a burst of creativity. And then, like I said, I found the field, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like, I want more of this, you know? And so I really don't think I would have been doing this if I stayed back home. And so for that, I'm really grateful. And yeah, I'm excited to see where, you know, we'll head in the future. All of us as artists, because all of the artists on here, yeah, they're so amazing. So I'm really thankful to be on here. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Grateful to have you too. It's so beautiful just to see you, for an example, who's turning pain into paintings, right? So thank you so much for being transparent with your story. I know it can't be easy whatsoever, but it was so good talking to you tonight. And I do look forward to seeing more of your art showing up and about. And so, of course, we're going to catch up later, but it was so good to see you live.
Girl,
so talk to you later.
Thank you so much. You have a good night.
You too. Oh man, she was so dope. Yeah, I think I met her at the Fields 3, and that's really dope that you see the Fields Seattle, who are inspiring people to really get into their artistic ability. And actually really funny because, like I said before, I came across the Fields when I graduated college. And so really figuring out who I was as a person, I was like, okay, I like the vibe here. People are dressing nice, they're dressing cute. The art, yes, they're speaking to me. And I'm someone who loves to find meaning in everything. So the Fields has been very beneficial in my life, especially when really tapping into the art. So it's really exciting to see other artists feeling the same way with that. It's just so amazing getting to hear from these artists. And so up next, we have Carly Burton.
What's up? You are killing it tonight.
Oh, hey. Hello. Good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was laughing when you said earlier how you were sweating, and I'm like, girl, I am, and I'm just sitting in my living room.
Right. Well, you know, it is what it is. Now you see my face. You don't see me with the mask on, so it's a little bit different, right? But it's so good to see you again. Let's pull up your arts. And while that's coming up, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and the story behind your art.
All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Carly. I'm 27, grew up and was born and raised in the greater Seattle area, more specifically Federal Way, Auburn kind of scene. For as long as I can remember, I've always been very creative. I've always been drawing, painting, tapped into other mediums like dance, music, and all that good stuff. But over the last few years, I've really just gravitated towards painting, especially over the last year with COVID and everything. I feel like we all were deep in our fields and we've all gone through a lot. And so painting was just a really good method for me to kind of put my emotions out on paper if I didn't know how to best express that. Especially like with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I was feeling a lot of emotions with everything going on, and I didn't really know how to express that. And it was really hard for me to find the words to communicate with other people. So I just started picking up some paint and paper, went to work. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in clinical mental health, and my end goal, thank you. My end goal is to somehow eventually incorporate art therapy, just because I know it's helped me when I've been in some really dark places. So the goal is to inevitably, hopefully, give that opportunity to other people.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. What has your life looked like being in school and creating art?
Oh, it is crazy because I have a full-time job, full-time school, trying to produce art, not just for myself, but for other people.
Yeah.
It just really feels suffocating sometimes, but a lot of the times I just need to really step away and realize like this is something that I'm super passionate about and has become such a creative outlet for me. And so reframing my way of thinking like that it's become less daunting. And I just make sure to set aside some amount of time every week to do something creative with my hands, whether that's like 5 minutes or 5 hours, just really being dedicated to setting that time aside.
That is so cool. Well, I'm all about art therapy because I too am all about mental health. So it'll be really exciting to see how your work evolves over time. What has been your favorite thing to paint so far?
Ooh, that is a hard one just because I feel
Hard one for all artists, right? My bad.
I just feel so deeply connected with all of them, and I just feel like each piece has a different meaning each time. I guess like the two ones that come to mind is honestly like the ones that you're seeing right now. I did a 3-piece series called In My Fields right here, and I worked on this for over a year, and I actually just finished the last piece right before getting on to the fields. And it just really showed my progression through heartache, through discovering myself, rediscovering myself, losing myself. So that was really dope to find my confidence through this piece. But honestly, I think the most meaningful one is the Black Lives Matter one that I created called Melanin Rising. I created that piece the day that it was announced that George Floyd was murdered, and I didn't know how to process what I was feeling in that moment, and so I just started to paint what came to mind, and I really wanted to showcase like the black and brown fist coming up through a field of flowers. Like no matter what kind of struggles that we face in America or in the world every single day, that we can and we will overcome. And I ended up taking that piece to one of the marches last year with the BLM movement, and it was just really dope to be around the community like that and to all come together. So I guess that's my answer.
Yeah, and do you think from that experience of seeing your art being, out there in the community, has that, build up more fire with you when it comes to future stuff you'll be creating?
I think so. I mean, I feel like kind of what everyone's been saying on the show so far, like I really get inspired with any and everything. Like I could just step out the door right now and see something and find how to get inspired by it. But really seeing now how so many people have connected with my art and that it has a deeper meaning to just myself has been super awesome and really motivational and really pushes me to keep going and just stretch my creativity as far as it can go.
Yes, and I can't let you go before asking this question because I'm very curious. I've seen on your ig handle and it's very common in your art. So tell us about your love for papayas.
Yes, so that's kind of a newer thing, and as you can tell in my Instagram handle name, it's like become part of my identity.
Yeah.
I really just like papayas mainly because they're just rich in color and texture. So to paint them in general is super fun. They never turn out the same each time, which is something that I kind of like. But I also feel personally for me, papayas are one of those fruits that are generally sexualized for female identity. And I struggled with my identity over the last year. We've been stuck in the house. So I'm like, who the heck am I when I'm just sitting
right.
And
I feel you.
I just really didn't like how anytime like I drew anything like a self-portrait of myself or like it was just automatically seen as sexualized. And I'm like, that's like not the point of it. So I really wanted to take something that is usually over sexualize and create it to be more empowering. So that's why you just see it like thrown into specific placements in my art, or just like hidden in there. Just, it's really about me getting deeper in touch with my femininity and like taking charge and ownership of that.
We love to see it. Thank you for sharing with us your symbolization behind the papayas. I for sure need to stay connected with you, because art therapy, I'm really excited for you in that path there. So thank you so much for tuning in this evening and sharing to all of us your story behind your art. And I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye. Man, now these artists are going to be like, okay, she said we're going to like link up. So now you guys are holding me accountable, right? Make sure I link up with all these artists, because they're doing some really dope stuff. So yeah, let's just keep it going here. I'm seeing the donations coming in. You guys are so awesome. So awesome. There's ways to donate present here on Give Better. You can also text TF5 to 202-858-1233. The night is still young, right? Invite your friends, let them know that you're still live streaming the Feels 5, the party's still going. And yeah, so there's a lot of artists we still have to get through. Up next is Sheahan Farrow.
Yo, what up?
Yo. How's it going with you?
Good, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're grateful to have you here. So we're going to pull up your art. And while it's coming up, let's hear a little bit about who you are, your background, and the story behind your art.
Yeah. I'm from Lakewood, Washington, Creighton out of Seattle. Came up here after college, just to work. And I was a mover that led into software engineering, and where I got my first desk job. And that was the inspiration behind making the shoes. I wanted something for my desk that, was unique to me and something that I was interested in, as well as, something that was cool. So a lot of long hours after long days of coding, this is the result.
That is so dope. So you're actually a software engineer that transitioned to being full-time artist?
Yeah. It's a new transition. I'm trying out here 2021. It's a, exciting time to be in. Where you have the opportunity to try and make a living off of your art. So that's where I am right now, and it's, there's a lot of stuff I have to learn, but I think software engineering kind of propelled me into a mind frame of being a life learner. So, I'm ready for all the challenges that come.
So what's been the most favorite thing, or the most fun thing that you've created?
The fun thing, I think, so in my process of creating all these shoes, each shoe I've wanted to do something different. So if we were to put all the shoes in order of when I started to, the ones that I'm doing now, there's a little tweak to something. So the bar keeps moving. So right now, I think my greatest accomplishment is just, being asked to come back on Feels for the second time. I was here last year, I had a great experience. The vibe was pretty, so I wanted to be a part of it again.
I know, because I saw you at the Feels 4 last year, and I was just like, wait, what is this? Is this real? So those are real succulents?
Yeah, they're real plants in there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I didn't know about plants before I started making shoes for plants. So the drainage and all that wasn't something in my mind. That's where the socks came from. The socks have a hole in the bottom, so when you water them, the water can go through, and it just gives more options for plants that you can put in them. Because I was kind of stuck to just cacti and succulents.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's curious to know, what is the creative process behind this?
Yeah, so they start in clay. I sculpt the shoe out of clay, and then from clay, I create a silicone mold, and then they're casted with resin. And then after the resin process, I drill the holes, clean it up, just kind of get it ready for paint. And then after paint, the best part is putting the shoelace in. It's just like when you get a new pair of shoes, and they're not laced. Once you slice them up time, it's a good feeling.
Oh my gosh. And you've been making Nikes and Air Jordans, right?
Yeah, primarily. Or actually, no, actually I made one van. So
you did. Well, there's gonna be a trick question for you. What if those two did not exist? Then what shoe would you use as your inspiration?
It's a good question. Well, I'd have to like start with like who makes the best runners, because I'm more of a run and shoe person. So and like 90s run and shoes. So we got New Balance, we got Asics, what we got Reebok, and like if I was to choose one, I'd probably have to go with Reebok, because like there's days where you want to slide out of the running shoes into something else, and like Reebok, they have the kamikazes for Sean Kemp. There's a Shaquille O'Neal we can get. There's a few Iversons we could wear. So like you got a couple options with Reebok.
Well, shoot, I can't wait to see how your art evolves over time, because now I'm curious.
I do have some ideas that are just on the back burner that I just got to get to, so we'll see,
well,
time treats me.
I could be your accountability partner, right? So
hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, your art is really cool. Thank you so much for sharing with all of us, especially the process behind that, because that was very intriguing. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye. That is so cool, guys. And he's an engineer. I'm an engineer. Even though I'm not at the office anymore, I still need some cute stuff, because home offices are the new thing, right? So I'm definitely going to be hitting up Sean so I can get some of that stuff on my desk. Up next, we have Jackie Churchville.
Hey. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
How am I doing so far? Am I doing okay?
Super awesome. Yeah, I would not have been able to hold up, so you're doing amazing.
Oh my God. It's not like my back is killing me or anything. I'm young spirited. So it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you
how are
too.
you feeling?
Good, nervous. My first ever art show, so this is
I'm nervous
exciting.
too. We'll be nervous together.
Great.
So we're going to pull up your art and tell us a little about yourself, your story behind your art.
So I am a 27-year-old artist, and I mainly focus with paints, so acrylic, watercolor, and I do some gouache painting as well. I have been painting and doing art pretty much my entire life, and it's kind of always just been a outlet for me to have fun and express kind of how I'm feeling. But mainly the thing I try to do most with my art is to just bring joy. So if I'm feeling down, or if I'm not really feeling that great about things, I'll just start drawing or painting. And it's just always been a way for me to kind of bring a smile to my own face. And my goal is kind of always just to bring a smile to other people, even if it's during something that's really dark for me or something that's really sad for me. If I can bring a smile to somebody's face with what I've created because they admire it in some way, then that's kind of just my goal, is to just bring positivity and joy to the world.
Yes, and even looking at your art, I recognize, who is that? Princess Bubblegum?
Yes.
From Adventures of Finn and Jake? Is that the title?
Yeah, it's Adventure Time. So I get
Adventure Time.
so
Yeah, I
much
was just like, I don't even know
inspiration
the
from
name.
animation. And like that's one of my favorites. Like I can draw them without even looking at the cartoon. Like they're just embedded in me. So I've kind of just brought those little characters along with me, and whenever I'm feeling sad, I'll just draw them.
Oh, I love that. So adorable. What has been your favorite character to draw?
BMO, so the one that's showing right now, that's my little boy girl. They kind of make it gender fluid, but I call her my little girl, and I love drawing her and painting her. I have so many of her everywhere, so that's definitely my favorite one.
I love that. So would you say that was the most favorite thing for you to paint as well?
So actually, I think the biggest paintings are the 3 series that are behind me. That was something that I kind of dug a little bit deeper for, and was kind of a breakaway from my usual painting, which is just painting something happy and painting something happy-go-lucky. So the series itself kind of depicts my recent breakup, which was a really difficult time for me. So I kind of painted them in a series, and they didn't even start as that series. But as I went along, I was going through some really tough times, and I kind of channeled it into that. And I just tried to make something as beautiful as I could and as fluid as I could. And the one that has a sunflower that's directly behind my head is probably my favorite painting I've ever painted. And it's just because it came to me naturally, and I just felt it, and I just painted it. And it was everything I was feeling all at once. And it was really great to happen. So that's probably my favorite painting to date.
Yes. And you've been an artist your whole entire life?
Yeah, so like when I was in elementary school, I was so proud because my little drawings and paintings would be put in the front office, and like all my family can attest to this. That was like my pride moment.
Love it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So how else do you find inspiration behind your art? You know, I know the whole purpose is for you to find joy as well. And so how do you find that in your day to day?
So I obviously work a regular 9 to 5, and with COVID, it's been difficult to kind of feel that inspiration. But like with the gyms closing, because that's my usual outlet is the gym. I just go work out all the time. But with everything closing, I was like, all right, this is the time. Buckle down, get into your art. It doesn't matter if you're creating something amazing, just make something. So I had my table just filled with all of my art stuff, and I was like, just create something. Doesn't matter what it is, just make something. And that's what I've been trying to do is just keep going, watch TV, have like something silly playing in the background, and then just like draw something up or sketch something up. And I think it's brought me closer to some of my friends, and it's brought me closer to my family. And I just really love just creating these things and like sharing them with the people around me.
I know your painting is bringing me all types of joy. And so we're just so grateful that you're able to share that with the rest of us for sure. So it was so good to see you again this evening, right? Not when we're testing, right? Because we're doing good. But yeah, you did great. I'm doing great. We're all doing great. So thank you so much for tuning in this evening, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Have a good rest of your night.
Bye. Woo, this is so amazing. Again, you guys can show love to these artists by donating at givebear.com/thefeels5. You can also text TF5 to 202-858-1233. All right, we've seen a lot of artists, and we have one more coming up. We have Miss Tanya Guerra.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Let's pull up your art. And while that's coming up, let us all know a little bit about you and your story behind your art.
Yeah, so my name is Tanya Guerra. I am a Honduran American artist. My medium of choice is acrylic on canvas, or sometimes I'll dabble into other things like leather goods. And the inspiration behind my work, it's basically just the story of my life. These pieces are giving insight into different memories and life events. They're also telling the stories of my ancestors. And yeah.
Awesome. What got you into the arts? Have you been doing arts your whole life?
Honestly, yes. I've pretty much been drawing since I could remember. My mom would buy me like a whole bunch of notebooks, and she said that I would just scribble all over them. And then that actually like never really stopped, because all throughout like high school and stuff, I would doodle all over my assignments. But yeah, art has always been a very big part of my life. And as of recent, it's been my main focus, because through it, I've been able to, channel different emotions, different traumas. It's just been a really beautiful part of my life.
Awesome, awesome. And what would you say has been the most favorite thing for you to paint?
My favorite thing to paint with, or just in general?
In general.
Oh, in general? This actually, like all of these lines, I call them soul work lines. It's actually been the most fulfilling thing that I've ever made. And I've made portraits, like really detailed portraits, but like nothing has been as fulfilling as making these lines, because through it, I'm able to, I don't know, it just takes me into a different place. Like the way that the lines are made, I replay like memories, and as I'm replaying memories, that's how the lines come about to be. But yeah, this is my favorite thing to paint.
That's so dope. And I know I was looking at your Instagram last week, and I see that you dropped a new collection, apparel collection, correct?
Yes.
Can you talk more on that?
Yeah, so my brand is called EIQ, or Emotional Intelligence Quotient. And I just dropped the Extend Kindness line. So dropped some sweatsuits, really bomb quality. And I'm dropping some long sleeves pretty soon. And EIQ is also like another, I guess, vehicle for me to connect with people. I wanted to connect with people through clothes because I've always loved clothes my whole life. And so I wanted people to be wearing messages that would, you know, have like a domino effect on people looking at, you know, the merch.
And it's very fitting too. We're all about bum culture, right? Because we're stuck
Oh
indoors.
my
We don't
God,
have anywhere else to go.
Yep, it's right up COVID's alley for sure. So
Right, exactly.
if y'all want to check
The
out
right time is now. Yes, I'm gonna grab that as well. So good to see you again, Tanya. You did great. I know you were nervous, but you did awesome. It was so great to see your art be up here. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Woo! Guys, we just went through a whole lineup. That was a lineup right there. 10 artists that are just doing dope stuff here in Seattle. Everything from repurposing materials to using clay, to using resin, to painting on denims. The sky is the limit, right? It's been really cool just to talk to them and really learn more about them and their perception through their art that they're creating. You know, we do want to show love to these artists, and so feel free to donate via givebutter.com/thefeels5. You can also text TF5 to 202 858-1233. I love these comments that are coming in. Thank you so much to those who have donated all throughout the night. And I'm just like, I'm going to go home really happy now, go to sleep happy because I've been able to connect with a lot of people. And so that's how we close it out here in terms of the lineup of new artists. And now, this will not be a Feels produced event if we didn't have a musical component to this. And so now we're going to introduce our special guest, akaMatisse, who will be playing for us a 2-minute set for us.
We've been in bed for like 4 days, doing anything and everything and anything we wanna do. And you pass a loop, order food. Is there anyone or anything you'd rather do? And is there somewhere else you gotta be? I don't care, I don't want you to leave. We can do anything and everything and anything we wanna do. Is there somewhere else you gotta be? I don't care, I don't want you to leave. We can do anything and everything and anything we wanna do.
Wow, that was such an amazing performance by akaMatisse. Now we're going to get to listen. We get to have him come in live and we get to hear from him. So let's bring him up.
What's up?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good, man. Just over here in Toronto. And we're just,
Toronto.
yeah, man. And we're getting spring is coming and shit. So we're just excited to finally be out of this like lockdown soon.
That is good. So, being the lead keyboardist for Keys and Crates, how has it been working with that band?
How's it been? Sorry, say that again.
Oh, how has it been? Just tell us a little bit about you and your bandmates creating music together.
We've been just doing it isolated, and we just send music back and forth and just be like, we just have a feed that we have that only the three of us are on, and we just send each other beats, and we're like, you know, what do you think of this one? Oh, that one's dope. Oh shit, like I can add something to this, or nah, that's not whatever. And we just, that's how we've been working, but we're working.
Yeah, especially in these COVID times, I'm sure it hasn't been easy whatsoever. How have you been continuing to find inspiration?
You just gotta look. You gotta get up every day and decide to look for it. And that's simple as it is.
Yeah. Have you been making music your whole life?
Yeah, in some way. I started when I was 4. I never looked at it that way, but yeah, I started playing piano when I was 4, and my family were Caribbean, we're Trinidadian, so it was a custom when I grew up that all the kids would always perform for their parents and their uncles and aunts and stuff. So that's how it kind of started for me with the piano. And some of my earliest memories are playing keys and performing for my family and shit. So I think I've just always that was just DNA. I love performing and sharing with people. It's a beautiful kind of synergy.
Yeah. What would you say is one of your most favorite memories when creating or when performing?
The high you get as a musician, you create music, which are kind of energy waves. So you put out music and you know, for me, I look at it as waves. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I put this idea and I want the crowd to act this way when this hits. And when the crowd does that and you get to see them do that, it's like ecstasy, because you're in the same connection and they felt the music the way you wanted them to feel it. And you're there to experience it. You get all that energy back to you. And it's just this amazing flow of it. And so any shows like that, Coachella for us that was unbelievable. You know, that was an amazing show. And I don't know how many other memories have got me to that level of like exhilaration.
Yeah,
That's a little bit
Coachella is popping for real. So I can feel that energy as well. What has been the most favorite piece that you've made?
I don't have a favorite. They're all different.
Yeah. Which one has stuck with you?
They all have different memories. To me, it's a body of work. And so you guys look at it like songs. I'm like, this is just, some of those songs happen at a period of time in my life. So they all have a different effect on me, different things. And other songs, depending how, some songs come with other people's stories. Someone tells you a song touched them a certain way, and that makes you like the song more. So like I said, all of the songs, everything has different meanings to me, you know? So it's like trying to pick your favorite photo of your life. It's like, how do you do that?
Right. That'd be very hard, because I'm sure I have like thousands of favorites in my phone. So
and your photo with your kids,
Touché.
your photo with your parents mean different than the photos with your friends hanging out, right? They all have different meanings. So they all have sentimental value, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. And what brought you to Toronto? Have you been in Toronto your whole life?
I grew up about an hour and a half outside of Toronto, and a place called London, Ontario. And surprisingly, you know, there's a lot of artists from there. Like my homie Shad's from there. We both grew up in London. I don't know if you know, you should check him out. He's a really talented artist. He's done very well in our country. So I don't know, there was just a certain energy, I think, from the town I came from, and we just view life a certain way, and it's very unique to that like region. And led me to Toronto, where there's more of us. And then now, as you've seen in the last like 10, 15 years, Toronto has really made its mark on the music world, you know? So I think there's just a lot of cool things happening here, a lot of cool perspectives.
Cool. Well, thank you so much again, akaMatisse, for performing your set for us this evening. I know you're a very busy person, and so we're really grateful to have been able to cue you in really quickly so we can hear a little bit about your story. So,
and I wanted to
wishing you
say
a
that
wonderful evening. Yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate what you guys are trying to do, in the sense you guys are trying to bring community and art. And that's really why I said, like, let me fuck with this, because you guys are out in Seattle, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
I love Seattle is one of my favorite places to tour, and you guys have a similar energy to how we do in Toronto. And I just support that you guys are. I love you guys are taking community art and trying to create a community around it. I love it. So I just want to like help and be a part of it. So thank you for having me on here. It's cool. I hope you guys.
So much.
I give you. I best. I hope you guys get everything you're looking for. So.
For sure. Thank you so much, Matisse. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
You too. Take care.
Bye. Awesome, guys. That is the end of our show. Wasn't it just so amazing getting to really look back at what the field is all about, and as well as showcasing some new artists for you. I've learned a lot this evening, and so I look forward to really diving deep into their projects too. And thank you so much to everyone that's been donating all throughout the night, just showing love to the fields, to the artists that got to share their art. And the night is still young, of course. You can still donate. Ways of doing that shown below. And now just closing out, I'm going to bring up Tori and Zach.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Did it.
So we just finished the first ever virtual art showcase. How do you two feel?
I am so happy. So happy. This turned out probably in the best way we could have even imagined. Doing it COVID style virtual showcase. We can put that in the books too.
Yes. And now with all the production, right? We can keep going, right? Oh, there's Zach. Hey, Zach. How about you, Zach? How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. I appreciate you, Aloma. This was amazing. Like, first and foremost, thank you so much, for holding it down. It was the first, TF5, the Field's 5th year anniversary, COVID edition in the books. It's like an amazing experience, producing this to, be a part of this production. We had an amazing team, and we're really stoked. We're stoked. This is cool. Appreciate everybody joining too.
Yeah, for sure, because this was not easy to put together. If you can see all the mayhem going behind this thing, you will be shocked. But we have a whole round of thank yous that we want to give out that, we're going to have Tori and Zach do that. They can lead into that.
Yes, so we just want to thank everyone first and foremost for tuning in. I know this was a little bit different and we didn't get to see everybody in person, which we truly missed, but it was awesome getting to do this online with you all. We are so grateful for all of the people that have helped put this together. Aloma, thank you for hosting. We have our video team back here, our production team, Bobby and Keith, that have been awesome, keeping us on track all night. Thank you, Aaron, for doing all of our video edits for tonight. They looked great. Also, thank you, big thank you to Miguel. Miguel Rockwell. He has actually been DJing at every show that we've had. He's been down since day one. And he has been on the back end of everything tonight, helping us get everybody on the live video. And he's a DJ in the Seattle area. He has his own podcast that he streams on Twitch. So you should definitely tap in with him. He just had this really cool 206 Day event on Twitch, which is so nobody has ever come up with that. So he did that and it was dope. You guys definitely have to tap in with him. You can find him. We'll link him on our social channels on IG. And then lastly, we wanted to thank Matisse too. It was such a honor to have him as our closeout musical guest and him tapping in and joining us on the live and chatting a bit.
I also want to add a little shout out to you know, no one saw him, but you know, our guy Bradley helped out on the socials. If you guys saw the little, you know, stylish frame, I think it's in Aloma's graphics right now. You know, Tori whipped it up, and then he, you know, added his magic to it and helped out with all the artists videos that we posted on social, you know, to help promote the show and just helping out with graphics in general. It was definitely a team effort, and yeah, we're really excited about the future and what's next.
There's definitely no I in team, right? So thank you again, Tori and Zach, for making me the host for this evening. And stay connected with us. Just follow us on Instagram at The Feels, SEA for Seattle. You can also go to thefeelsseattle.com as well. Stay connected with any upcoming events that we have going. And I am your host, Uloma. It was so good to party with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for the donations that came in. You can still continue to donate, show some love. And that is a wrap. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you guys.